Sorry for the very abrupt end to our Disneyland vlog. I think by day 3 we were just so tired. We just didn't want to get the camera out. We just wanted to enjoy that last few hours we had on the last day and try and get as much as we could done. We had an amazing time. It was so good. The boys had a great time. Avery had a lovely time. It was just such an incredible experience and I'm so glad that we did it. With that being said, it wasn't without its challenges, and I just wanted to add this bit at the end just to kind of share our experience in terms of travelling with children with additional and complex medical needs, just in case there are any of you that are thinking of travelling to Disney and have children with additional needs or have additional needs yourselves. Hopefully this might be a bit helpful for you. I'll start with the airport. We arranged special assistance for both trips there and back, and I would 100% recommend doing that if you do have additional needs or have children with additional needs. It just made the whole process so much smoother. Zach was given a lanyard, one of the, I'm not sure if it's universal or if it's just recognised in the UK, but one of the green lanyards with sunflowers on it. He was given that by the staff at Special Assistance. And then we were assisted with dropping our baggage off, and then we were sent through a separate security basically, so it was much less crowded. We got through much quicker. We felt much less pressure in terms of getting everything out of the bags, because as you know we had a lot of liquid with all of Avery's feeds and medicines and stuff. This is Avery's feed and we need to take 12 bottles of this, and we were quite worried with the medicines, so we did take a lot of documentation just to prove it was for what it was for, but we didn't need any of that. Yeah, we didn't need any of that. It was all really smooth. Everything was fine, and the staff were just really friendly. We pretty much got escorted through the majority of the airport, so it just made it much smoother. It made it much easier on Avery because we weren't hanging around for too long. 100% recommend special assistance at the airport. We used the magical shuttle for our transport to and from the airport to our hotel, and I'll be honest, I don't know if we would use it again. The reason why we went for it this time was because it was the cheaper and what seemed to be simpler option. But we waited quite a long time for the shuttle. I think we just missed one, so we had to wait an hour in the heat for the next one. That didn't really start our trip off in the right note because we were hot, we were sweaty, we were in our travel clothes. We just wanted to freshen up and get to the park. And then obviously because it was a coach, we had to kind of fold everything down, and there was quite a queue for it by the time the coach actually came round. And even though we were the first ones there, that wasn't really taken into consideration. Everyone just kind of pushed and shoved, and it was quite difficult. But I mean, we did get on it, and we were grateful for the air conditioning once we were on our way. The parks themselves, I think their systems for catering to people with additional needs are brilliant. The first thing we did when we got there was went to City Hall to pick up Avery and Zach's priority access cards. We'd already pre-registered for them online before we went, so the process was quite smooth once we got in. We did have to queue for about 20 to 30 minutes to get into City Hall. There was quite a queue there, but once we were in, it was all quite straightforward. Zach got the green pass and Avery got the purple pass, which meant that we could take her pushchair because it was classed as a wheelchair, because essentially she couldn't walk anywhere without it. We could take that pushchair in through some of the queues, which was really good. And honestly, that card was a lifesaver through the entire trip. I don't think we would have been able to do it without it. It meant that we got priority access for all of the rides, which was brilliant, because honestly it took us about an hour to get between rides. Not because of the crowds, even though it was really crowded, but just because there was always something else we needed to make sure we were doing with Avery's feeds, or if she needed a bum change, or if she just needed to be picked up out of the pushchair to be calmed down a bit. It took us a long time to get from A to B, so having those cards just made everything really smooth. They also worked for the queues outside the parks as well, so they had sort of a separate line for people with access cards, and the queue was, I mean, there was still a queue, but it was much less and a little bit quieter. The card also gave us a special area for the parades and the fireworks. Now, we didn't manage to see any of the parades, we just didn't get the time with everything else we wanted to do, but we did manage to see the fireworks on our only full day. And the area that they have for the fireworks for people with access cards was pretty much right in front of the castle, and oh my goodness, it was, you couldn't have asked for a better spot. It was amazing. We saw everything. We did have to sit on the floor, which was a tad uncomfortable, and there was a few people that were sat in front of us that decided to stand up right before the show started, which was a little bit annoying because no one else was standing up. It just happened to be these two people that were sat right in front of us. But it was fine, we saw everything. Avery actually stayed awake as well. She'd had a nap in the evening and then she woke up and then she was awake through the fireworks, which was really, really lovely. She didn't seem startled by them at all. As a matter of fact, the only one that seemed bothered by the loud noise was Eli, but he was fine as soon as he realised that the fireworks weren't going to come close to him. Another thing I would say just to be aware of is the security before you go into the parks. If you have a pushchair or a wheelchair and you have a lot of things kind of on that pushchair like we did, we had a lot of our organisational bags and things kind of attached to the pushchair. They all have to come off to go through security, so that was a bit of a faff, having to take everything off and put it all back on. Luckily it didn't take us too long, just be aware that is something you have to do. Avery got to go on a fair few rides, which was really, really nice. I will say that not all of them without a height restriction are necessarily suitable for younger children, especially ones that don't have much head control. We took Avery on Pirates of the Caribbean and no one said anything to us. They all said it would be fine for Avery, and we thought, you know, there's no kind of leg bar that comes down, so it can't be bad. But there were a few drops, and to be honest, me and my husband were scared out of our lives when we saw those drops come in. We just clutched Avery to us and held her head and made sure she wasn't going to go flying. I mean, it wasn't too bad going down, but me and my husband were just terrified. But Avery, she laughed her head off going down those drops, so she loved it. I'm glad we did go on it, but I'm not sure if I would go on it again, just because the fear of Avery's head kind of thrusting forward or back, it just wasn't worth it. So I will just say, just do your research on the rides. There may be some that you don't think are suitable. We also took Avery on the Ratatouille ride, and that was another one that we all loved. But I will say that the bar only locks when it comes down so much. So Avery was on my husband's lap to start with, and he tried to pull the bar down, and because obviously he's a little bit bigger than me, the bar wouldn't come down enough to lock with Avery on his lap, so she needed to go on my lap, and then we just about managed to get the bar to lock. So if you do have a baby or a child that needs to sit on your lap for the rides, just be mindful of that. It was incredibly hot when we went. I think it was definitely high 20s. Avery doesn't cope so well in the heat, and obviously when she wants to be picked up and carried in the heat, it was really quite tiring. We did have a portable fan, which helped a lot. I would definitely recommend taking something like that, or a cold flannel, or just something to help them stay a little bit cooler, because it was very, very hot. Also bear in mind, if you're going at a peak season like we did, the crowds are insane, and there's a lot of people all wanting to walk different ways at different paces. We got a little bit frustrated by the end of it because everyone just kind of walks in front of you. Honestly, it's a bit of a free-for-all. No one really looks where they're going, everyone bumps into each other, and obviously everyone's just there to have a good time, everyone's just worried about themselves. But it was quite difficult trying to sort of navigate it. We did notice that Zach became a little bit overwhelmed, not because he told us. If you are new to my channel, by the way, my son Zach has autism. Yeah, not because he was telling us he was overwhelmed or he's unhappy, but we noticed more often than not he was going into his own world. So obviously it was very crowded. We were trying to make sure the kids were paying attention and looking out for where we were and staying close to us. Zach would keep sort of going off into his own world and playing games in his head and stuff, so we really had to kind of keep on telling him, Zach, you need to be watching, you need to be looking, because I think if we weren't constantly on him, he really would have just trailed off because he was in his own world. But that's the way he kind of copes with sensory overload, so I do think he got a little bit overwhelmed. I don't think it ruined it for him in any way. He seemed perfectly happy. It just meant that me and my husband had to keep a really, really close eye on him just to make sure he was with us at all times. We went for 2 nights, and the first day we actually arrived a bit later than we had hoped, just because it took us so long to walk to where the shuttle was, and then we had to wait for it, so we got there a bit later. I think we actually got to the park around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and because we had been traveling all day, we just couldn't go on anymore after about 9 o'clock, so we needed to head back to the hotel after that. The following day, we got there at opening, just after park opening, and we didn't leave until after the fireworks, so it was a very, very long day. And then the third day, we only had about 3 hours in the parks before we had to start making our way back so that we could get our flight on time. I don't think it was long enough. We crammed in as much as we could, but I think we got quite stressed out because we were trying to do as much as we wanted to. We didn't get to see everything, we didn't get to do everything. It just wasn't long enough, and because we were trying to cram so much in, because we knew we had such a short amount of time, we got very, very tired, very overwhelmed really quickly. If we were going to go again, and I think we definitely would if we had the option to, then we would definitely go for longer, just so that there wasn't so much pressure to cram everything into just a short space of time. We could take our time a bit more, actually plan out our days a bit better and see more that way. I think we did everything that we really, really, really wanted to, the kind of things that were top priority on our list, but there was a lot that we didn't do that it would have been nice to do. One of my top priorities for this trip, if you watch my channel that you'll know, is I really wanted Avery to meet Olaf. She is absolutely frozen mad, and I just thought that that would be something really, really special for her to do. So on our full day, I kind of tried to plan around that. So we went and asked in the morning. They said they were fully booked. They said come back at 2:30 to try and get a slot, so we did. Obviously we were planning our day around this, so we were kind of flitting between the 2 parks at the right times. We went back to studios and asked again at 2:30, and they said they were fully booked again. At this point I said, look, we're not here for very long. We were told to come back at 2:30 and we would get a slot. It's so that she can meet him. She's frozen mad. And then a really, really kind staff member did get us in straight away to see Olaf. And a bit of a backstory, just before this happened, Zach had actually dropped his access card, so we had lost that at this point. So I had gotten quite stressed, like I said, tired and overwhelmed. I'd gotten quite stressed, quite teary, and then when they said that Olaf was booked up, I was close to the point of tears. But then, like I said, they did let us through. They let us in to see him, and when the kids saw him and when Avery saw him, I just cried my eyes out. I just got so emotional, so overwhelmed, and just so happy that we actually got to do that for Avery. So we saw Olaf. He was actually the only character that we did do a meet and greet with. The kids got his autograph, and I'm just so glad that we ticked that one off the list. It really, really was incredible. Okay, I'm gonna need to put this little lady down because she does not want to be in my arms anymore, do you? Do you? What are you smiling at? You don't want to be in my arms anymore. You say, no, mummy, I've been in your arms for 3 days straight. I don't want to be in your arms anymore. I want to sit down and watch TV. Just let me have a rest. By the way, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but we literally got home late last night. So we are all in dire need of water and rest. I thought I would just finish off our Disney videos by showing you guys what we bought while we were in the parks. I will say Disney prices are extortionate, but I'm sure if you've been to Disney then you will know that. The boys each had some money for themselves, so they got to choose what they wanted to spend it on. And me and my husband wanted to pick up a few bits as well. The first thing we had our eye on, and we did buy it on the last day, was this little light stick. We bought it for Avery because it is Frozen themed, and she loves Frozen and she loves sensory things, so we thought the lights would be really, really good for her. This I think was €20. Yeah, it was €20, so we bought this. and I'm really happy we did. It's a nice little souvenir for Avery, and it actually helps with her vision. The boys each also bought their own little version. This one's a bit longer and it has Mickey on it. I think this one was around 20 euros as well, but they all wanted to buy one for themselves. I was a bit concerned that we wouldn't get these through the airport, but it was fine, they did let them through. The boys also wanted to buy themselves some ears. They obviously wanted to be like mum. Zach bought himself these little Mickey sorcerer ears, which I think are so cute. I can't remember how much these were. I think all the ears were around the 20 to 30 euro mark. I think these ones were closer to 20. And then Eli and Marley bought themselves this little Groot pair. I think these are so cute. I didn't even realise they had ones like this, but it just has a little Groot in the middle. It's so sweet. The boys also each bought themselves a lollipop. Why not? I can't remember how much these were. I think they were about 4 euros each. But yeah, the boys bought them lollies. And then Eli wanted to buy himself a pen. It's a Marvel pen, I think. Yeah, it's like an Avengers pen. I don't know why he wanted to buy this, but I didn't want to control what they were spending their money on too much, because I wanted them to just be able to buy what they wanted. That's why we gave them each a set amount. Zachary bought himself this little Groot toy. I'm not sure, again, why he wanted this. He just thought it was really cool. We are at downtown at Hotel New York, the Marvel Hotel. And a lot of these little bits they actually picked up from there because they're boys, they love Marvel. At the same shop at the hotel, Eli also picked up this little, I don't know what this is. I really don't. I don't even know if you can see it with the light. Yeah, there you go, you can see it. Yeah, I don't know what this is, but he wanted it, so he picked that up. And Zach also picked himself up a little Black Panther toy. Marley got himself a Groot teddy. I think he says his favourite is Groot, so he really wanted this teddy. He'd actually been asking for it since the first day, so on the second day he bought this. Boys also bought themselves a collection of keychains. I think this is the one that Eli bought. It is just, I don't know. Can someone tell me what that is? You can clearly tell that I am not really into Marvel that much, but they knew what it was. I bought myself a little Disney keyring. I thought it'd be nice to put that on my keys. There's a little memory. Oh, Zach bought himself that one, a little Captain Marvel keyring. I thought it'd be nice for them to put them on their school bags. My husband actually surprised me with a couple of things. So he bought me this little Disney chocolate bar, which I thought was really sweet. I love chocolate, so perfect. He also bought me a lolly, this little mini heart-shaped one. I thought that was really sweet, and he surprised me with all these bits. He just came out with them. And the other thing that he surprised me with was this bracelet. Like, how sweet is that? I'm not sure how well you can see it, but it's got Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast on it. I thought that was really sweet, so I've worn it pretty much the whole trip since he bought it for me. My husband also bought this little teddy for his niece because she is stitch mad at the moment, and he saw this and thought of her, so he thought he'd pick it up for her, so that's really sweet. I lost my pink ears in the parks, guys. I loved my pink ears and I'm so sad that I lost them. I thought to myself, I'll buy them on Amazon, they were only £4. It will save me so much money on ears in the parks. But I lost them. I don't know where they went. They just weren't where I left them. I put them in the pushchair and the likelihood is they probably just fell out. I'll be honest though, the headband part of it was a little bit sore behind my ears. So I did end up buying myself some new ears. I think these ones are actually the 30th anniversary theme and the colours. And I really love them. I just like the iridescence and the pink running through them. Thought they were really nice. Disney tempts you. Like, I was so convinced that we weren't going to buy much from Disney just because we knew it was overpriced. We knew we could probably find things similar at home that were much cheaper, but it's like you fall into a rabbit hole. You see all these things and you're just like, oh, I really like that. Why not? We're in Disneyland. It'll be a nice memory, a nice little keepsake. And you just fall down the rabbit hole and you can't help yourself. I could not help myself. But I don't regret it, I'm not gonna lie. I also saw this and really liked it. This little American Mickey crop top. So I bought that for myself. I love a good Mickey tee and I thought that one was really cool. My husband and I also bought ourselves Spirit jerseys. We've been watching Disney vlogs for the longest time, years I'd probably say, and not so much my husband, but I've always said I want a Spirit jersey. That is the #1 thing I want to get. I was really surprised to hear my husband say that he was going to pick himself one up. He bought himself this Lion King one, which I think is so cool, and then it has the Disneyland Paris on the back. I think that one is so cool. And then I bought myself the 30th anniversary one, so looks like that on the front, and then it has the Disneyland Paris on the back. These were €65 each. They were expensive, I'm not gonna lie, but I did know I wanted one and I knew they were that expensive, so I did kind of budget for it a little bit. And like I said, rabbit hole, you fall down it and you just can't help yourself. The last thing that I want to show you that we bought is this, and this we actually bought just after we went to meet Olaf. So like I said, I was incredibly emotional at this point, and I saw this and I said to Josh before we actually left, every single trip that we go on from now on, I want to buy a Christmas decoration from that place, and then in 30 years time our Christmas tree every year will just be filled with memories and all the trips that we've taken as a family. So I found this, and Avery loves the tree decorations, so I bought this one more so for her because I thought she would love it. It's this little glass bauble. Again, I'm not sure how well you can see it. It's a little glass bauble. Olaf in the middle. I'm really not sure how well you can see it because of the light. Oh, there we go. There, it has Olaf in it. I thought that was really lovely. So that's going to go on our Christmas tree every year, and Avery is going to love looking at it. That, by the way, I think was €15. But for a good quality glass bauble, that's not actually that bad, I don't think. I think I've bought some in the past that haven't been much less than that. And that will forever remind us of the time that we met Olaf. Oh, there is something else I forgot to mention as well. We bought Avery a like a poster. So we went into the gallery, and before we actually went to Disney, we'd seen it on YouTube. We'd seen this picture. It was like an attraction poster of the castle, and it was all kind of in pink tones, and we thought, wow, that's beautiful. Wouldn't it be nice to buy that for Avery's room? So we went on the hunt for it and we ordered it in the gallery. Apparently it's delivered to our address in the next couple of weeks. So that is going to go in Avery's room. It's going to be 40 by 50 centimetres, so quite a nice size. And we just thought that would be really nice for Avery to have in her room as a little memory. And then our plan is to have a frame next to it with a park ticket. We also bought this kind of little golden token. We were going to put that next to it and just make it a little bit of a memory wall for Disneyland for Avery to look at. Something else I forgot, we also bought a couple of photos. So we didn't have the sort of photo pass memory maker, I'm not sure what they call it at Disneyland Paris, but we didn't have that, so we actually just bought a couple of photos. One of them being this one, me, Avery and Olaf. I absolutely love it, and I think this one would again be really nice to go in Avery's bedroom. Do you know, I think this was probably my favourite memory from the entire trip, Avery meeting Olaf. But anyway, I've rambled on long enough. I really hope you've enjoyed this little series of Disney videos on my channel. I've enjoyed filming them. I'm just so grateful that we were actually able to go, and all of the kids were able to experience it, and we were just able to experience Disneyland Paris as a family. It really was the most incredible time, and we made the most precious memories that we will cherish forever. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you're notified of all of my future uploads. If this is the first video of mine that you've come across, hi, I'm Chrissy. I'm a mum of 3 children, and I also have a stepson. 2 of our children have additional needs. My son Zachary has autism and my daughter Avery has cerebral palsy. I would love it if you would subscribe and follow us along on this journey, creating an amazing life while adapting to additional and complex medical needs. And with that said, I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.